What's up? What's the word?
I'm just gonna speak about Kanye in general, right? You know what I'm saying? So Kanye spent $7 million on a Super Bowl commercial, and and his commercial was his on the iPhone. I feel like that was like one of the most genius commercials ever. Sending like sending people to Yeezy.com. I actually went to Yeezy.com and bought me some pods for $20. I just had to. So we got the
Yeah, I think that advertise. I think that little brief commercial. I think that's going to be a new wave of advertisement. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be like a whole new wave of people doing that because you also saw Mark Zuckerberg do that with that new VR thing he's got. When he did like a little thing like that on his couch with his VR thing, talking about Apple comparing his Quest 3 to Apple's joint. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's going to be a new way for a lot of people to do. You know what I mean? Those kind of like quick viral, say your product, what it is, get it out. I think that's going to be a way.
I mean, people have been doing it for years. They just never thought, hey, let me pay $7 million and put it on a platform as big as the Super Bowl. I just like how he recorded it like he had something better to do, and he like rushed through it and just got off the phone.
And then people gonna eat up, and then you know how Chicago is. People gonna eat up whatever Kanye do. He could shit right now, and people gonna eat it off the ground. You know what I'm saying?
That's disgusting. But
people
Kanye,
will. I don't
But
know. I can't speak for
you know,
everybody from Chicago, but there's people out there that will do that. Yeah.
if people, let me tell you something. If people are willing to spend $450 to $500 on a listening event, people will eat Kanye shit off the ground.
your analogy is very
uh,
that is crazy.
I know what I'm talking about too. But it's
But
like,
you know what you know. I'm with you
yeah,
when you
yeah. When you really think about it,
okay, I don't even know how to compare that man. Mark, you was something else, G.
cause you know what it is. It's like, when I was there, I asked a couple fans, how why you think people still support Kanye even after the Hitler comments and the anti-Semitism comments and stuff like that. And it's just like basically the reaction of it. Yeah, it's wrong, but it's Kanye. People it's like people find any and every other reason to block out or just jump over his behavior or even some of his bars as of late, with the new joint. You know what I mean? Like people just jump over head over first to see a version of Kanye like that really don't exist no more. You know what I'm
But
saying?
Kanye do give a lot of people hope, especially I feel like people from Chicago.
He has. He's our Michael Jordan. In a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like I wrote, like he's our Michael Jordan. Like he's kind of like our generation and the younger generation. You know what I mean? Like all of our Michael Jordan. So it makes sense why we feel that way. I just wish that we weren't afraid to be a little bit more critical
Oh yeah.
about about whether it may be his art or how he give it up in Chicago or certain types of, certain types of ism and just let him, what I'm saying, walk free. Although, and I still love Ye. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I hate Ye. I don't hate Ye at all or anything like that. I love Ye. I still love College Dropout. Hell, I still like Donda. I think Donda is a classic album, if you ask me.
That's the down of the day.
You know,
Um,
But I think just the thing that kind of just throws it off for me sometimes is he's a man of contradictions. You know what I mean? We can all agree on that, right? He talks. I think sometimes he talks from both sides of his mouth. Like he will say he just spent the whole thing talking bad about gangster rappers, talking bad about rappers that make violent content, and say you're gonna make secular music, and you just made this gospel album, and then you made Donda with no cursing, turn around and make something that's completely opposite of all the things that you was talking about with more raunchier lyrics than certain drill rappers. So how you gonna talk about this one thing and then all of a sudden promote something else that's equally just as contradictory?
so I'm gonna give you pushback on that, right? So I agree with you 100%. Right, I agree with you. He definitely is. It definitely is contradicting. But I do honestly, I do feel like what Ye is doing. I feel like what Ye is doing. I think he's just he's an artist, right? So
Right.
when you look at your artist, you look at your artist for art. So when he's curating in the mood that how he feels at that present time. So when you
Okay,
got
I get that vibe from there. Yeah.
yeah, so when you got somebody like him that his mind is always everywhere, and the only thing he can do is either do clothes or do music. That's how he releases his like his fresh like what's in his head is clothes and do music. I feel like this is how he feel right now. Like you can just tell just how he's moving. Like he feels like this right now. So you that's what you're getting in the music. You could tell when he was releasing Donda, it was a whole different type of feeling with him. You know what I mean? Like even with the Sunday service and stuff like that, like he was in a whole different place. So I think the best way to understand Kanye, and nothing he said, like I don't think the best way to understand Kanye, if you really wanted to get a clear cut of what the message or how he's feeling, is whatever album he drops at that point in time. Because he's gonna put all his thoughts on how he feel about anything, his emotions into that particular album. And that's why none of his bodies of work outside of, to be honest, only his only albums that sound the same, that has the same sound to them, to me, is the first three.
Mm-hmm.
Everything after those is just is real. Like it's not. Those are like conscious with with a message, right? Everything after that was really just to me was just emotions, raw emotions and music.
I wouldn't say as far as even conscious and anything, but I do agree with you as far as what you're talking about is where he's at in the state of mind now. You know, those first three was also pretty much heavy Rockefeller type shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of, I would even go as far as to say a lot of his first three, even content wise, is a more dimmed down version of what we're seeing now, as far as the materialism, the lust, and all that stuff, but much more subdued versions of that compared to where we at right now. And I do agree with you that, you know, I think this album is the basis of where we at. But the problem comes in is number one, how do we go? There's never no insight into how do we go from here to here. You know what I'm saying? That's one. And then number two, some of that stuff though is still kind of like, even though, you know, I don't really hear a whole lot of Hitler talk on this album and stuff like that, like some of that stuff is still kind of like you in your own world with this one. And it's still contradictory to what you talking about.
It's
I
music, bro.
like we analyze Kanye a little too deep these days. Why can't he just be a man that got access to one too many hundreds of thousands of resources in the world and just do
Right,
what he
I agree.
do? He having fun. He gets to wake up every day. I gotta get up and go to work. Y'all gotta get
Because
up and go to work.
because
He gets
because
to get up and do whatever he chooses to do. He gets to
right.
pick a girl, marry her, and let her walk around naked and make cream of wheats in the kitchen with a tortilla chip on. Why? Because he wants to. He gets to do that. Let's just accept that Kanye is that one man in the world that can do whatever he wants to do.
Right, and that's the thing about and there's the thing about
Y'all over analyzing this
I feel
man.
like
well,
that.
hey,
I feel like
I
that's what's called being free though. Like that. I
Let
think
him be free.
I think what you seeing with Ye just at is like even like you feel like what's the word? You feel entitled to tell about the transition and you want more insight of what's going on. That's not our.
and I'm
That's not we know we don't. That's him. Why we feel like we deserve that? Like okay, we a fan of him. We like,
because right, but
only thing we need to worry about the music. As long as he making the slaps and the clothes, all the other.
I'm gonna get to why. I'm gonna get to why. I'm gonna get to the why part. Because that's a very important point. It what makes him different in this circumstance is because Kanye is just not any artist. Kanye, what Kanye says and what Kanye does impacts culture, impacts people, impacts it influences people in a unique way compared to like the things he does and the things he say have real world impact and consequences compared to every other artist. That's why you analyze him the way you do compared to most artists. Because, and this is true about you all Chicago artists uniquely.
I do that.
Now, but hold on, no. I'm not saying where I'm going with this one. Let me follow me. There's no such thing as separating the art from the artist when it comes to all Chicago rappers, uniquely so, because Chicago art is us. Chicago art is the living embodiment of who we are and where we're at given the time. Historically, given every Chicago artist, be it Common, Kanye, Lupe, Lil Durk, whoever it may be. You know what I mean? So all our artists is true to us. And like I said, with Kanye, unlike any other artist, Kanye moves even to this day at 45, 40, whoever it may be. People do what that man says. Look at his fans on Twitter. You know what I mean? People move, people do what that man say at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? He got whole college courses around him and everything like that thing say right there. You know what I mean? So that's why you analyze him the way he do, and that's why you gotta hold some of him accountable compared to other people. Because like I said, his words and actions do hold power.
I will give you that, right? I give you that. I give you that. And my only the other side of that coin is that at one point in time is that this is he. When are you gonna learn? The people have to learn to think for themselves, right?
Okay.
So you holding him to this light, and he's just really just a confident being. Ever since we know him, a confident being that spoke truth, his truth to life. Everything he
Right,
wanted to do into accomplishment, he's doing that. So
right,
if he's showing you that and he's just putting what's in his head on paper, putting his head into clothing, putting his head what's in his head into music, you know what I mean? Doing what that like that's what he's doing.
right,
He's not telling you to be like me.
right.
Like he's not like he like and that's the difference between I would say somebody like Hove, right?
Mhm.
Hove is like, yo, this is the blueprint to how to do what I do, right?
Right,
Ye has never told nobody, like, yo, do what I do. He's never sit there and told you, like, do what I do. This is how I want y'all to act. This is how I want y'all to be. You give him a mic, he just speaks what's in his head. He having a conversation with you. He's just telling you how he be, right? But he's never telling y'all to follow me and do this.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
People, you choose to follow.
Wholeheartedly.
You choose to follow him, but he's just doing him. He's a free man, just doing what he feel like is in his head again is out there. You know what I'm saying?
right,
He's not. He's an example of, and I think we are, and it goes back to the statement that he just is going to transition to the statement that he just posted about the war over there between Palestine and Israel. Is like how you say the responsibility that he had, right? That he has in that platform that he had. You see, noted, and this was the first time I ever really seen Kanye do this. Like, I'm pretty sure he has more information. I'm pretty sure he has an opinion on something. Because sometimes he just speaks out of feelings with no facts. He just off his opinion that how he feels. That
right,
was the first time I ever seen him curve. Like that was I've never seen media train Kanye. It's either I'm a asshole or I'm just going to rant. Like he literally just told them like, yo, I have no information about that. Don't ask me about that. You know what I'm saying? Ask me if you want to talk to me about something. Talk to me about the kids that's being killed in my city every week. I know something about that. Use my platform to speak on that. And I've been seeing a lot of backlash from that. And and when I saw that clip, I was like, this was a dope clip because at the end of the day, it's like you're putting y'all was ready to make him go viral on a situation that as an entertainer, I get that y'all have this some type of platform and y'all want me to do something, but y'all didn't hold Drake to that same standard. Y'all not holding y'all politicians to the same standard. So why is we holding our entertainers to that same standard? I hear so many times. I
Drake
hear
don't talk to nobody.
huh? But Drake, it's a whole nother thing with the Drake. But they was people came out and said that like Drake, you're probably the biggest Jewish star in the world.
right.
Like, how come you haven't said anything about this situation?
And same with Khaled. People ask DJ Khaled about
Same
He's
thing,
a
like
little
y'all.
Palestinian. You know.
But when Kanye curves it, they ready to, you know what I'm saying, to get on his case. But it also brings back to me when I was saying like what I was getting at was that him I just had it. We don't the same level that we want to hold Kanye, Drake, or DJ Khaled to. I want our people. I just want people, just not even our people, just people in America and the people in this community. Like, yo, y'all don't hold y'all politicians, y'all aldermen, and y'all congressmen to that same standard.
Now I agree that part I do agree with you. I do think that people put in oh, whether it be Sexy Red, Lil Durk, or whoever.
Well,
Do think that people put way too much on entertain, and that doesn't mean I don't feel like. And this is everybody, even me, even you. Everybody got a responsibility with their platform. However, you know what I'm saying? People put too much on to these people, as if they the ones responsible. But it's like there's people who have been hired and been elected to make it better.
to handle
But
these
it's
issues.
And
how,
there's an election coming
like,
up too, actually. You know, and
as people that work in media and work for different platforms, like, is that partially our fault? Because a lot of the times we post what when our entertainers or our actors and musicians have a comment on something that's going on in the community, have a comment on something that's going on within hip hop, within or without the culture, in politics or whatever. And we are the ones that amplifies it. We're the ones that blow it up.
not really because y'all ain't doing nothing but y'all job. If they say something, then people want to know about it.
But
Y'all
that's
only,
still us.
only only if you only the only time it's media fault, in my opinion, is if you're promoting misinformation. If you promoting something that's not true, or if you're promoting something that may cause harm,
But
that's
I
when.
feel like it's the betterment of our culture is to know that if an entertainer is speaking on something that's going on in politics or chooses not to speak on something going on in politics, and we are the ones that amplifying that, knowing that it probably won't help the culture. It's just us pushing something out there that can just get a couple views and get a couple clicks and let other people see it because it is Drake or Sexy Red or somebody saying something. Like, if it's not necessarily helping the culture, I ain't gonna say it's harming it either. But if it's not helping it, we are adding to that.
Yes and no, because we have a job in entertainment. We have a job. Let's think about first thing you said job, right? So it's our job, right? So when you have a job, your goal is to build a ecosystem so you can live off this, right? So I feel if these clicks and these views and these comments and this interaction and this engagement is gonna help fuel your ecosystem, and like Mark said, if you're not putting out bad information, or you don't, if you're not causing any harm, well, you're just playing you're just doing your job. I think as the individual, it's our job to make sure that we understand that what we're watching is only entertainment, and we want real change. We need to go a step further and go challenge ourselves to learn about people in our community that can actually make changes. Like when they say, "Oh man, these kids they listen to this rap music, this gangster music, all sexy red," but it's like, yo, as the parent, why are you allowing your kids to watch it? So
That's how I feel.
you
Like,
blaming sexy red. You trying to take money out of her pocket and her food. All she's doing, this is her authentic self. This is her life. This is what she just, because art imitates reality in most times, right?
yeah,
So this
exactly.
is her reality. Like this is Sexy Red's reality. All she did is put it on wax, make some money, feed her kids, and changing her life. You mad at her, but you ain't taking the phone from your kid. You let your kid play Rich Baby Daddy. That was the Rich Baby Daddy at the little baby shower. You let your kid do that and recorded it. That wasn't on Sexy Red. When you
Yeah,
go to the,
I feel like that's a cop out when people blame. You know what I mean? Like, I think. Don't get me wrong. I do think Sexy Red could put out a few more, like, inspirational type joints.
No,
But
let her
and
do
but
do
at the end of the day,
Sexy
like,
Red being inspirational is
yo,
crazy.
like at the end of the day, it ain't the rapper's responsibility to raise your children.
It's not. It's
it's
You
not
know,
entertainment.
it's not Kanye's responsibility to raise your kids. It's not Jay-Z. It's not Beyonce. It's not your, Like those are not their responsibility to
But
do.
with Kanye though, I will say this though, with Kanye, what makes him uniquely different in this situation is because you're invoking language that inspires, that activates an entire base of white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? Like
But I
he,
also feel like, in a way, he's been having to be held accountable for the things that he said in
So
that
oh now, yeah,
for
now,
every action, there's an equivalent
as a
response.
reaction.
There's equivalent response,
right,
right? So
right.
with the Kanye situation and deep diving into it, just taking it off a surface level, yes, what he said about Hitler and everything is wrong, right? Um,
But he lost deals.
and yeah, so in the equivalent to that, he lost all his contracts and everything that he was fighting gone.
And even going back to the slavery as a choice situation.
Go back and read that clip. I always tell people that's just like the Allen Iverson practice thing. The man said, not slavery itself. He said that's another one of the time when Kanye actually caught himself and we ran shit back. He said, not slavery and change. He said slavery in the mind. You know what I'm saying? Was the choice to remain slave in the mind. So to do something repeatedly for over 400 years, to be a slave and mentally for himself for 400 years, doing the same shit, as basically what he's saying is like in our culture, doing the same shit over and over, that's a choice to keep doing it. Prime example, right? In 1980, 1990s, we got videos of Prince, Michael Jackson, all our black entertainers telling them like, yo, labels fucking us over. Labels is doing this. They doing interviews, they protest. That shit was 40 years ago. And 40 years ago today, our same prominent artists doing the exact same shit. Every year there's a new artist that comes out and say, man, my label fucked me over. What they on Twitter screaming about, I hate this shit, go independent. And very next year, it's the shit people keep signing to labels, right?
I want to
Now
ask you something about
the
that.
executives coming out saying how the labels are messing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but slave like that's all he was speaking of us mentally, like doing the same thing over and over. That once you keep making the same mistake, shit becomes a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we keep doing that shit. You keep seeing
But
them shit.
is it, if you were raised and kind of conditioned to just do one thing, if you're not exposed to it, how do you even know that that exists for yourself?
I mean, we're in the internet age. We're in the internet age, and we're in the.
I'm going back to Kanye saying that Harriet Tubman and them had choice. If they exposed to the
He
same
never
thing over
said Harriet telling them had a choice, and if we, but if we wanted to be real in the situation, you do like wait when okay when they took our ancestors when it was allegedly they took some of our ancestors from Africa because it's a whole story. They say some of us is already here, some of us got from Africa, right? So that's a whole other conversation. But when they took some of them from the boat, it's stories and it's a legend that's told. People say, you know what? Instead of me being in chains, I'm going I'm gonna kill my baby, or I'm gonna jump in the ocean because I know what's waiting for me when I dock on it in America or this land where they taking us. That's a choice. One thing we be thinking when they said that, everybody was thinking like, yo, a choice means like it's gonna be good and bad. No, your choices don't always be good and bad. Your choice can either be this or that. Sometimes your choice in that situation, your choice could have been death or remain a slave. Nat Turner, right? In a situation with him and Nat Turner, his choice was, yo, we fought back, and it ended up to them getting killed. But he fought back. He rebelled. So you have a choice. That shit was a choice. Now now everybody that's pushing back and saying, oh no,
Mm.
you have a choice to do something, yo. When you step into like, but your choice don't always mean it's gonna be something good. So when somebody,
Now, chattel slavery though, American chattel slavery don't compare because it wasn't no choice either way. And I think that when people gotta be careful when you talking about that shit because it's like you don't wanna demonize people that are undergoing chattel slavery. You don't want to demonize the ancestors like that because I guarantee you, if this generation was put in that damn situation, how many you think fucking either sell their own kind of slavery or jump off? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't endure that. It wasn't a damn choice.
I'm gonna always get
I
pushback.
agree with no choice.
I'm gonna always give you pushback on that. That shit is always a choice. Shit is the rebel. Harriet Tubman remaining a slave. Her remaining a
So
slave is
what would you have done? Would you jumped off the boat and killed yourself, or would you say, well, I'll just live out the rest of my days being a slave?
Because again, the people
oh,
that made to
you see,
America,
you asked me that question, right? So in the end of that question, I have two answers, right? You gave me two
No,
answers. You
because you
gave,
get one choice, so you don't
no,
get
you
two.
gave me two. You gave me a choice. That's all it is. You just gave me a.
One.
You gave me a choice. Don't mean the
But
choice.
I'm asking. You know how it's Valentine's
No,
Day.
no. You asked me what I would do. What
It's
I would
Valentine's
do. What
Day.
I would do is null and void. But all
And
it,
then some,
it goes back to what we said. It was a choice.
It
That
goes
what?
back to you still have
but
not answered my question.
that's
What
not
would
the
you do?
same
No,
thing
you like.
though.
All right. Let's say if I'm gonna jump in the water,
Cody,
That's
you
what
street.
you
So hold on,
wholeheartedly would do.
let me
I'll
break
jump in the
down to
water.
you. But
And kill
Cody,
your kids too.
Let me break down
You
to
ever
you
seen the?
this
You ever seen the
concept.
movie Beloved?
Movies
A
aren't
long
real,
time
so
ago, a long
No,
time ago.
new art depicts reality, yo. You ever seen the movie Beloved with old girl with the shit? You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You remember that part in the movie when the white man was coming to take her kids?
Yeah.
My mama always shit out to me. Then when they was coming to get her kids, she killed her kids because she knew what was she didn't want them to become slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Like yo,
I answer.
people have choices. You have don't mean that your choice is always going to be good. Like that's I think that's the whole part that we be missing in some of these situations is that I do realize that the shit fucked up.
I
Slavery.
just think I just think you holding on to what he said and not like the grand scheme of
The,
like what he said, like the aftermath of your choice. Think about it. Like regardless of you killing yourself, regardless of you letting your kids stay on the boat and they go into slavery, slavery is you're not ending slavery that way.
that wasn't the thing of what he was saying.
So it's not had even
He
been said.
said
It
to
was done
remain a
that.
slave. He said to
That's what
remain
I'm
a,
getting to. He
he's
didn't have
saying
to
to
say that.
remain a slave. To remain a slave is a
And,
choice.
and then don't you think though it's kind of real easy
Oh,
to
yeah, okay,
say that
okay.
kind of thing when you kind of ain't are far removed from them conditions that led to that. You know, you living your American privileged life free off the benefits of your ancestors, and then you gonna say, you know, because who knows what any of us would have done if we were in that same damn predicament.
Yeah,
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? And
Um,
I would give, and like I said, this generation, it's gonna be some selling. It's gonna be some selling. It's gonna be some snitching. It's gonna be some selling. Half this generation will sell their little mama and sister to the white man as soon as possible.
I
Look at
think I,
how
I
this
think
going
I
now.
think I think as we move along, I think we really gotta understand the idea of slavery didn't start with America. Slavery been here since the beginning of the time. You know what I mean?
Shadow slavery start, not slavery within itself.
Explain
Slavery
explain that
just regular.
explain that terminology.
So there's slavery within itself has always existed in the Bible and the Roman order.
Yeah,
Then there's chattel slavery. American chattel slavery was just unlike any other kind of slavery. Black Americans are the only group of people that was bred and created. You know what I'm saying? You had back to back pillaging of land, all like not land, but people from all across America, all across sitting in Brazil, all over the continents and stuff like that. Reproduce, like factory. Like we were slavery, chattel slavery is pretty much like when we were just like raised and went under such uniquely abusive conditions. You know what I'm saying? Compared to certain other nations where you were a slave for only a certain amount of time until you paid or whatever,
a
and you
ditch of
were free.
service. A ditch of
Yeah,
service. Yeah.
yeah.
So I get what you're saying with that, guy. And everything you're saying is you're completely true with that, right? All I am saying is right. In order to in order to just take the steps for us to be free, people made a choice not to do this shit no more, right? And the way we break cycles in anything we do in life and doing in culture is somebody stand up and like, yo, we're not doing this shit no more.
Right.
So the conditions that we were in up. You know what I mean? But it was groups of people that made a choice that said, no, we're not doing this shit no more. And until those and some people succeed, some people didn't. But overall, when you continue a rebellion, you're going to eventually succeed. So all Ye was saying is, yo, once you get out that mindset, like, yo, I have to remain here, and I'm gonna do anything it is to get up out of here, you're gonna always be a slave. So that's anything we do in a society now to
And
this.
that go back to the way one of the biggest problems with Ye is the way he's a terrible communicator, because it's also the way he delivered his messages too.
But
Because
that
you can say, but you hold on, but you can say, you like what you just said. It was greatly put. But you can say all that without demonizing an entire generation of people that went through things that none of us are fortunate enough to ever know about.
I get that, man. But that also get that's also my standpoint where they say as our culture we're too emotional or too sensitive, right? Because we can't we want to we can acknowledge one thing but also understand that our focus is right here, right? So we're gonna always acknowledge what those people went through. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you can say all that without demonizing them.
We can, you can, but at the same time, what we speaking on right now. Right now, you can tell me like, yo, we don't demonize those people, and I can agree with you on like that's part. But now let's move to the next subject. Once we on the same page that we understand what our ancestors went through, we understand like fuck it. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better words, we
Right.
understand. We hear it there. We don't even have to make that shit up no more. Now we talking about this. What we talking about now is the mindset, how you move forward. And the
Cause
way
we talking about Ye really.
if my delivery is not the best and way I talking about that, stay on that. Let's get that.
Not yo delivery. I'm talking about Ye delivery.
We're not talking about Ye right now. We're talking about me and you. If I'm Ye and I'm talking about this shit right now, right? We're talking about the mindset and moving forward and how we break the chains. If my delivery and how I speak on that is not the best, hey brother, the way you delivering that, let's deliver that a little bit better. But don't go back into you demonizing those people, you inhumanizing that, you insensitive. No, because me and you we already talked about that. We understand that shit fucked up,
Right.
right?
I ain't say you. When I say you, I want to clarify. When I say you,
No,
I ain't
I get you, but we taking
person.
it off Ye right now, right? Because Ye
Right.
is a horrible communicator, and I can't speak for Ye, but I can speak for myself, right?
Right. Right.
So as a person that has as known for not being able to communicate the best,
Mm.
I understand. I can understand what the man a little bit, right? But I do understand. Okay, we have
Gotcha.
emotions, so take emotions out of it. We both understand that we agree. We agree.
Slavery is an emotional conversation.
It's an
Some
emotional
black
conversation, but
He's playing
until
out of emotion.
you can't get to the next level if you don't take the emotions out of it.
right.
Prime example, right? George Floyd. They got us on emotions, right? Right.
Right.
And out of that whole situation, you had the whole world by the balls. We got Juneteenth. What else we get?
A lot of jobs and shit like that. There were a lot more people being hired for certain positions at the
Apology.
time. That's a whole nother conversation too. That opens up a rabbit hole, because now you're seeing a lot of those companies now rescind on a lot of the things that were promised, and
Because
then
it
a
was an
lot.
emotional time.
Right.
Emotional time. If you take the emotions out of it, if we take emotions out of shit that we got going on and start thinking
I
logic,
feel like you talking about taking the emotions out of history, and I just think that
that's what you're going. You going back to history. I'm not even speaking on history because I can acknowledge
how
that.
are you not speaking on history? You just brought up Juneteenth. You not speaking on
No,
history.
you taking about the
You
emotions
were
out
just trying to rush the president. You not speaking on history. You were just talking about people
of.
following
All
them
right.
votes
That's
400,
and
500 years ago. Please, Cordero.
Bree is proving my point that we're always gonna speak on the situation and the emotions of surrounding the situation and how that made you feel, and we're never as people as a culture.
I did not say anything about how I felt.
But you just talk about taking the emotions out of history. Going back to what I'm saying,
I asked you.
we're never going to
You
sit there and focus on it.
you just said that.
We never go focus. Our culture will never focus on solutions. Because the minute you be like, and that's why people don't be like having conversations with me, because our emotions out the way, it's over with. You feel how you feel, I feel how I feel, cool. What's next? Because I'm gonna forget about the emotions
Right.
after 24 hours. I'm gonna forget about me and you having a disagreement. I'm not gonna fuck about it no more.
Right.
If you ain't talking about the solution based on how we moving forward, then why is we still talking? Because
I
the same, because the shit is still the same. Because it's a Senate, we still talk about bullshit. We still marching. Niggas shoot you in the street, you gonna march.
Hey, what's up? What's the word?